Welcome back to DBL. You just watched a clip from Marvel's M.O.D.O.K, an upcoming animated comedy series on Hulu about a supervillain facing his biggest challenge yet, a midlife crisis. We love it. Patton Oswalt created the show and stars in it. He joins us live. Hey.
Guys.
How are you?
I am really, really good. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful. We're so glad that you could join us. Now, before we get to M.O.D.O.K, we want to get your take on vaccines. Why do you think more Americans aren't getting their shots?
Because of all of the insane misinformation out there and all of the, I don't know. There's just, I didn't realize there was this big of a population that doubted vaccines. I mean, when the polio vaccine came out in 1955, we were still 2 years away from satellites, and everyone just lined up to get it.
Yep.
Now we're like, we've got world brains in our pockets, and there's satellites all over the planet, and there's robots on Mars, and people are like, that vaccine's got wizard poison in it.
I was hoping
how we went backward that way.
Right. Yeah. I was hoping he'd do the rah, 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 rah. That voice is my favorite. Patton, I'm a huge fan. I also follow your Instagram, and I wanted to say hi to Alice, your daughter, who I think is just wonderful and marvelous, and she's growing up to be so lovely. I wanted to ask you, as a comic, has it been harder or easier to joke now that the world's sort of fallen apart?
It was way harder to joke when it was falling apart. There's a like, wow, when things were awful in the 80s, think of how good punk rock was. It's like, well, first off, I'll give back, never mind the Sex Pistols if, the air isn't on fire. Like,
Yeah,
it's
right.
not worth that trade-off to have the world burn down to get a couple of good albums out of that. And also, the really good punk rock came out during Carter, and then the grunge movement started right when we got rid of, or really flourished right when we got rid of Bush. So I just think that's a myth of like bad times creates great art. It's like, how about we can have both. You can have good times and great art at the same time. I don't know why we fetishize that.
Now, it's been 5 years since your late wife, Michelle McNamara, passed away. So we're looking at your Instagram tribute right now. What advice do you think that she would give you to deal with this crazy year 2020?
She would... I think she'd be laughing at a lot of the craziness that's going on the way that I am trying to, but she would also go check in on your family, check in on your friends.
Yeah.
The more, if your impulse is to check on other people, that spreads and we all kind of get lifted up. I think that would have been her impulse during all this. It's not, don't hunker down, check in on everybody.
That's beautifully said. Let's jump into your new project. Tell us everything about Marvel's M.O.D.O.K. If you can use some more punk rock analogies.
She's a punk rocker.
From a previous punk rock girl.
Well, if I could cite the band Wire and their album Pink Flags. Now, that came, basically, M.O.D.O.K is a villain who is just as jealous and angry at the other villains in the Marvel Universe as he is the heroes, because he is this eighth-dimensional brain, superior intellect, somehow on the D-level bottom tier of the villain. So he's struggling with a midlife crisis in terms of being a villain, and then also because of his hubris and his ego, he's like, not only can I rule the world as Emperor M.O.D.O.K, I can also have a loving family in the suburbs who supports and worships me, both of which are completely falling apart because he is such a damaged ego and so crippled emotionally, and it's now all the birds are coming home to roost, so he's having to deal with both of these collapses at the same time, and it's really, really fun to write and really fun to perform.
So now I need to know what drew you to the role of a self-absorbed supervillain. I mean, he's going through a midlife crisis. Have you ever experienced anything like this? What is the connection?
I mean, look, I'm in show business. I've experienced pettiness and competition on my part. I've experienced envy and why is that person there and I'm here? Like, I think everyone, not just in entertainment, but in all walks of life have experienced that. And I'm like, what if we crank this up to Marvel Jack Kirby levels and really make it cosmic? So that's what I think made it really fun. At least that's how I related to it.
Any real life people that you based your supervillain on?
Uh-oh.
I'm not gonna say.
Come on,
yeah, there were a couple of people that we maybe used as signposts, maybe
Motivation.
inspiration.
That's good.
Tori?
I just wanted to say, is Alice going to be watching it? What is the audience? Is it for adults as well? Because it sounds like something I'm kind of struggling through a quarter midlife somewhat crisis. I would enjoy it. Would young kids too as well? I just want to know the audience.
Oh yeah, no, I think young kids, and especially this will be like when you watch like a Pixar movie, or even like our daughter loves Stranger Things and WandaVision.
Oh yeah,
that
So good.
she loves, and there's stuff as us adults going, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. So it works on both levels.
Love
I
it.
love it. You are a true gem. Thank you so much for chatting with us, Patton. And don't forget to stream Patton's latest series, Marvel's M.O.D.O.K, on Hulu, May 21st. Thank you. We'll be right back.